What's going on, everybody? We're gonna get into this right here. Get everybody up in here. All right. So my comment justified. Yeah. equals in this and then and mm, little brother doing 25. Like, exactly, exactly. Right. Let's see here, because I want to go in. This, boom, 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 no, boom, check it here, send it over there, this, revamp that, and guess what? Here we go.
I got to do and dedicate a whole live video to this man because this man's breaking it down. So before we do that, though, and I give you the breakdown of what we're going to be discussing for a few minutes, just want to welcome everybody to my unexpected show. Yeah, that's what it is, unexpected. See, I don't want y'all to put me in a box, okay? You never know. I can dribble with the left or the right hand. You know what I'm saying? Soon as you think you got me, oh, he could only shoot with his left. No, I shoot with my right. Same thing with guns. Check this out, y'all. Took my AR to the gun range today, and I'm out there shooting off a couple rounds. And because I shoot a rifle left-handed, but I shoot a pistol right-handed, well, those hot shit. Oh, somebody said the audio. I'm glad you caught that. All right, so let me see here. Let me double check. You said audio frying. You know what? Which one of y'all on here? Okay. All right. How's the audio up top on Facebook? I'm gonna have to take the let's see. Now I got to go back to the old school. You sneaky Kev. Yeah. Okay. I'm going back to the old school. Forget it. I had to unplug the audio for now until I figure out what creates that little popping sound. Drove me nuts when I watched my video back from last night. My live video. I was furious. Like, what is that? I paid too much for this garbage to not work. But anyway, before we get into the subject tonight, yeah, man, out at the range, and those shells from that AR burnt me up, y'all. I'm talking right now. Look at that. I felt like Richard Pryor. Telling, and it went all down my shirt, all because I shoot left-handed with a rifle, and the AR shells come out that way. You know, I got singed, but because I'm built for it tough, I was able to fight through it. Okay, I ain't no punk, all right, and I ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke. Now I slam it when I'm done, make sure it's broke when I'm gone. Know what's going, because I won't let nobody press up or mess up the scene I set. You know where that's a rock camp, just in case you don't. All right, so I've been toying around with this video that I watched, and this man right here exposes something that I think everybody needs to hear. Now, we're not talking about you know, the liberals, because I'm sure they would discredit this man's message off grip because he's a Christian. You know how it is. The assumption is that every Christian hates gays. They hate Latinos. They hate all these people. They assume that Christian beliefs means that you just, you know,
Spy.
with anyone's personal life choices, or you hate them personally. And that's not the case, okay? When you're a Christian, if you are really trying to be a real Christian, not a hypocritical one, you're able to judge everything based off of your biblical beliefs. All right. So therefore, those same biblical beliefs that you assess obvious behaviors over,
he had turned his initial 15,000.
You also do that to yourself. I mean, come on, dog. You think Christians like denying themselves all of the fun times and all of that stuff? You don't think if Christians could have wrote in a loophole somewhere in the Bible, they wouldn't have done it by now? Do you think if they could get away with, like, National Sin Day, you don't think there's a lot of things that Christians say, man, I wish I could, but since I can't. So if someone that believes in Christianity, if they're being honest, the Bible and the scriptures don't just get logged at folks who are whatever, gay, lesbian, straight. I mean, those laws apply to everybody across the board, including yourself. That's why you never want to get the arrogant attitude where you're coming at people with that look on your face like, oh, why am I here amongst these presents? Look at them, all sinners. No. See, so you really are coming to someone and say, hey, look, man, I'm not coming at you personally, and I'm not judging you personally. I'm just saying, according to my beliefs and according to the biblical book that I love and read, the Bible says something about that. Just as it would also say something about Kev if he got reckless and decided to go out and find a couple people that I've been eyeballing forever because they've been on the internet talking reckless, like Keith Olbermann, huh? Now, if I go out there and I find Keith Olbermann and give him a 6-piece chicken dinner, boop, 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 I got an answer to that too. I cannot go into the Bible and say, well, now, see, it does give me some leeway to be able to beat up people like Keith Olbermann because he talks reckless. So that's the common mistake. They always think that it's personal. And I'm thinking, no, it's not. They always throw in something like phobia. And I'm going, no, it's not an unhealthy fear of any of that stuff. Being a Christian in America and in this world right now is very, very dangerous. And I say that because all we want to do is just believe what we want to believe without someone.
Why we gotta keep saying
that? Can't believe that.
You can't believe that.
By you believing that,
you
are hating me. And I'm going, no,
right.
I don't hate you. And I think the problem with a lot of liberals
what you do
is they want
that ain't even my business.
Their own.
Right. You don't want us voting on top of the damn.
I have tried other methods.
Voting on top of the table. I didn't even know.
Behavior. Whatever that behavior is, regardless of your religious beliefs, is hey, you know what? You need to accept whatever I do. And you're saying, well, no, I don't. I'm my religious beliefs. But then you know what? You're filled up with hate and all of that and discrimination and racism. And I'm going, no. See, I think you're misconstruing here what's going on. I want the freedom to believe what I want to believe without being infringed upon by an angry group of people with a bigger agenda to try to shove their feelings, beliefs, and activities down the throat of everyone else. You think I want to eat that mess? No. Okay. If you roll up on a scene with me and you talk about, hey, try this liver, Kev. And I'm going, well, you know what? I'm cool. I had a bad experience as a kid and I don't do liver. Oh, you know what you are? Now, if you start coming at me reckless, liver denier, you know what? You're anti-liver. And I'm thinking, I just don't want to eat liver. Okay, fine. Now, do you think if I eat that liver after you've been badgering me that I'm really accepting the liver? No. I'm appeasing you. And frankly, I probably will become very spiteful of you because you shoved it down my throat. So if you really want folks to accept you and all of that stuff, be you. Be you and don't shove it down folks' mouths and throats because they'll never accept it. They might receive it grudgingly, but they're not happy about it. Yeah. And I'm sure some of these liberal policies that come out of the Democrat Party, a lot of these Democrats who vote for some of the most outrageous far left policies, they don't even believe a lot of that. I guarantee you. They're not going home talking about.
We just don't look for a picture.
On the floor today, we voted for biological men to just become women at a blink of an eye.
Right.
And I really believe that's possible, son. I really do. No, they're not doing that. You think Chucky Schumer believes that? You think Nasty Nance believes that stuff? You think they go home and peddle that same type of mess into the heads of their grandchildren and this and that? No, they probably let them know, son or daughter, you have to
learn we doing this for money.
Separate politics from reality. Okay, son, daughter, you know what? Sometimes you got to shake and move a little bit to get what you want, and you have to appease folks to make them think you're very open and tolerant. And
are you looking for a well-paying side hustle as a notary? Notaries are paid on the spot, and they create their own hours every single day. In the next 60 seconds, me and my notary.
I thought he was saying, and this.
Demonizing the groups or the people who isn't intolerant to you.
So that's how
they just don't want you knocking on their church door talking about, we want to shove something down your throat. And if you don't let us do it, you know what we're going to do? Bring the news up here, and we're going to march around your church with signs with our feelings written on those signs and calling y'all a bunch of names. That's what would happen. So that's what scares a lot of folks
Fashion.
if they are wise enough to see what the Democrats are doing by pushing certain types of legislation that at some point will step on your personal beliefs. And that's what a lot of Christians in America forget. They get distracted by simple stuff that the Democrats throw out there that appears to be a violation of folks, rights. And it appears, according to the laws of the land and the folks just walking around aimlessly, it appears that these are, palatable ideas. I mean, if someone wants to do that, why not? We should be more tolerant, accept them. Now, when you do that, when you start accepting things that you might not have a major issue with,
Oh,
so you accept that,
he picked something.
thinking that I'm only dealing with that.
Here we go.
But when you surrender over legislation from
This
the
reflex,
Democrats
right?
to make certain things a law and put it in a certain category to where now when something does come along, that you're saying, well, now wait a minute, that issue right there didn't bother me too much, but this one does. And then you wonder why they're saying, well, you know what? That's discrimination. You're violating the Civil Rights Act, and you go, what? No. Why was that a violation of it? Oh, you remember when we were trying to get Donald Trump out, and we were saying this guy hated everybody except for white upper class Anglo-Saxons. Remember that? Yeah. And you thought you were getting at him when you voted. Well, you kind of gave over, your liberties to me too, because we now decide what falls under racism, discrimination, and all of that. So what's good for the goose is always going to be good for the gander. So for those that are watching the live presentation tonight, the title of this one is called The Trojan Horse. Now, what am I talking about? When you want to infiltrate someone or something or society, it can't be so abrupt and
eat, sleep, and trade. Eat, sleep, and trade. Eat, sleep, and trade, baby. Are you afraid to trade? Hey, lots of traders have performance anxiety. Don't sweat it. With my 3 simple patterns, it takes the stress completely out of the equation. It doesn't matter if you've never traded. You don't need to master trading because I eat, sleep, and trade, baby. Join me for my free webinar where I teach you how to become a better trader in less than an hour.
Acne really felt like my lot in life. I've tried Proactive, I've tried Murad, I tried special face cleansing brushes, pills and creams from the dermatologist. I spent a lot of money.
Now you can reveal your clear and healthy skin with Exposed Skincare. We fight acne with science and nature to return your skin to its natural, healthy balance.
It seems like your television.
That people go, whoa, you know what? I recognize that. When you came spitting and slobbering and your head spinning around and you're shooting out green stuff out of your mouth, I recognize the devil. I'm like, now that right there is Diablos. Yeah, you can't tell me because we ain't got no green vomit. So why is this woman spitting up green vomit and her got all this bass in the voice like, yeah, Father. I mean, see, we recognize that. But when he shows up as an angel of light, hello, baby. You dig what I'm laying down on you now? Do you understand the rhyme that I'm dropping right now, baby? All of that stuff is hard. When it shows up in the form of money or in the form of power, all of the stuff that is real hard for you to be like, now, is this the devil? And the worst is when it shows up in the form of something you want to do. You be trying to make sure, well, I don't think it's the devil. You know what? I don't want to be too deep and spiritual. I'm going to go ahead and explore. But really deep down inside, you're like, man, I hope this ain't the devil because I really want to get involved in these type shenanigans. So with no further ado, this isn't necessarily a live show focused on solely Christianity. This man that we're going to be listening to happens to be a Christian pastor, one of my favorites I watch, but he breaks it down how certain policies will not just affect Christians, but there's that sleeper group of people out there who might say, well, you know what, I'm getting into church because they're all dogmatic and outdated. However, they don't realize on the back end, it's going to bite them on the butt too. So you can never go into this thing thinking that I'm getting that one person and it's not going to come full circle around to me. When people come out to talking about freedom of speech and hate speech, and Donald Trump, he says things, he tweets all the time. You know what? We need to monitor hate speech. Well, okay, vote somebody in that pushes that legislation, and then when it's time for you to be brought in because you said something that they just deem as hate speech, now you're concerned. Wait a minute. I mean, that was years ago. We were after Trump then. I thought you guys were just, it was a temporary thing. Oh, this is for real? Oh. So I gave up all of my rights trying to get it Trump. When it comes down to the Ku Klux Klan, for whatever reason, the Democrats are saying has come back in full effect. I mean, they like, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I don't know about y'all. I haven't seen a Klan member in like years, maybe like in the movies and stuff, but
Right.
he don't see too many of them dudes walking.
They don't really come out.
And the ghost
For the
outfit
secret.
covering them up. But yet they
Now
want
that-
us to think
Wide
this is
open,
a
let
big
me know
deal.
what's going
They
on.
come back, and I say to them,
This prime charging device has a lot of
Ain't
power
recruiting over here. This ain't with
small and
Jimmy.
compact and can fit nicely into their durable waterproof case. One of the nice features is using their website. You have the ability
Out there.
to them, as much as I disagree with any type of hate, as much as I
Don't
disagree
call
with
it
some of
jump.
the liberals that come out and it's all over the internet talking reckless, all of that stuff, I would still defend their right to do it. Because if I focus on just them and I think, well, I'm just shutting up the Ku Klux Klan, what happens when I say something and then they go, oh, we don't like what you said either. So now, if you're going to be a citizen in America and you're going to hold on to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and if you cherish your liberties and your freedom and all of that stuff, you also have to protect dumb folks too. It's sad to say it, but yeah, we got to protect dumb folks from themselves. And that's what's going on right now, because we got a whole bunch of dumb folks in
You
America.
got the right to say
who
stupid.
They have
basically.
been gaslit to focus on Trump to
You
the
sure?
point where they don't see the undercurrent. And what I mean by that undercurrent, y'all, if y'all know how to swim,
This is full of
what you
stuff.
see on the top is not what's really going on.
Right.
Here you are thinking, well, I'm going to swim across that lake over there. I'll see you on the other side, hun. And you get to swimming, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, why am I going this way? Okay, I'm trying to go that way. Well, you find out there's an undercurrent, something that I didn't detect up front. Same thing with these Democrats and their policies. I listen to folks on Facebook whining about Trump, his racism, and all that, and I say, do you even read the policies of the Democrat? Have you looked at Joe Biden's list of priorities? Because guess what? It's
Amazing.
not in there. First of all, for all those racially sensitive black folks, there ain't nothing in there talking about us. I'm like, okay, they got stuff in there about the Native Americans, which is good. They got stuff in there about the LGBTQYX-3/0 semicolons groups. But where are we as black people? That's the group that just buys in to the racism and all of that stuff.
You're like, okay.
And yet, nothing about what we're going to do. So you're going to allow your emotions to make you focus on racism while Trump is trying to pump in billions of dollars into the black community, and you like, forget all that. I don't want his stinking racist money. I'd rather get him out of office. So you jump on people like 50 Cent. You jump on people like Ice Cube. You jump on, and I heard Lil Wayne. Is met with them today, and something's going on with Lil Wayne. I gotta get some more details. Somebody sent me the Twitter thing, and I'm like, Lil Wayne, what? Okay, let's see what it's doing. But nonetheless, people will attack them because it's almost as if they have lost their ability to reason. You're telling me if Trump's in the office, let's just say he was a racist, white nationalist, xenophobe, all that stuff, and I'm looking at all of the folks that's suffering. And I say, okay, Kev, I could help them out by going to the president, even though I might hate his guts. Right. He's going to give me $50 billion to help the people that's suffering. And you're telling me if I do that, I'm a sellout. I thought I'd be smart. That's what I thought. I thought I would be brave. I thought I would be like, willing to take one for the home team, for the people. But you go there, you close the deal, come out thinking the people going to be going, yay, thanks. And they're like, man, you sold us all the way out. No, selling you out is what the Democrats been doing when they promise you year after year after year, we're going to hook you up. Don't worry.
We got you. We love you, black folks.
You know what? No one.
Put your signs all in your neighborhoods.
No one.
Do nothing.
Okay. So that's what I think is selling the people out. And they don't catch it. I'm thinking, okay, so they leave you stuck in the hood. They make sure you have a very, very low IQ when it comes down to politics. They don't even come to the black community talking about politics. They don't come asking y'all, what do you all need? What's the issues? They tell you what the issues are. You know what the problem is here? It's the police. Or, we're gonna ban the police. We're gonna dismantle them. And then you get black folks in there go, no, wait, I think that's an overkill. You might have overcompensated. We don't want them gone. You know what?
Black guy. We don't want you neither.
Trust us on this one. And then 2 or 3 months go by, and everybody's getting killed. Crime has risen, and these folks who did this go back to their suburbs.
They say, wait,
scratching their head like,
wait,
I don't know what happened. Because you know what? They don't really care.
Right.
They don't really care because see, in the news, it looks like they're fighting against racism by creating conditions that will hurt the very people that they claim they love. Now, why do they do that? Because if they don't,
Jesus, this is how they do me, y'all. When it's good, they got a whole bunch of.
How are you going to come in telling black folks about policies and you have none? All of your policies hurt black folks, and yet you're going to come in and tell them about that? Why waste my time trying to convince these folks to vote for us because of my ideas, because of my policies, because of some logic, when I can just go in and tell them all, hey, I could bog you all down with details about, let's see, human trafficking and also immigration and all that, the schools. No, we don't want to deal with that stuff. But I tell you what we will deal with. Racism. And everybody goes, okay.
White nationalism.
So what they have been doing is slowly but surely trying to slide certain things and agendas into our society and make us embrace it. They're trying to do it slick in the middle of the night. The folks ain't listening, ain't watching, don't read the legislation, don't follow enough politics to know that, whoa, I didn't know y'all were passing that. Because guess what they do? When folks that are ignorant and vote these local politicians in and thinking, well, what does these local politicians have to do with the people in Capitol Hill? A lot. Because those local politicians represent you in your area. So if you got some raggedy senators and some raggedy House members that goes up there on your behalf, but don't tell you that, oh, you know what? This is something we thought is important. We never checked in with the folks that voted us.
Hey, but I'm about to get in.
Don't throw that on me. So it tramples all over my spirit. That politician makes this a. When I see some legislation, look, now I used to tell people, if you give the devil a small piece of your mind, himself. Y'all hear that?
Okay.
Be talking about this along with this man, not from the position of discrimination, we hate y'all, but instead civil liberties, the things that protect us all to make our own choices. That's where I'm coming from. And this man does a wonderful job by breaking it down and letting us know this doesn't just apply to the church. This man covers everybody who will be impacted by this. And with no further ado, let's get into it. I've helped him. We done.
You're doing commentary on this one because this
before he didn't know it.
You can't get more important than what we're talking about tonight. I had to get serious.
Speaker, and he's a brave.
Really want to talk about voting? This is what you need to pay attention.
Black preacher to be out there calling out the raggedy Democrats and all their evilness. That's a risk, a big risk. So I got to give it to him. He's brave. Let's get it.
Times like these, get it to not know is to be deceived
Oh.
and to be destroyed, because there are so many things that are happening, and Satan knows how to disguise himself.
Y'all hear that? So I want to make sure y'all can hear. I ain't got to crank up.
Hi, DJ.
Could you hear him?
Welcome.
Okay, good. Right. Now, so this
How's it going?
that time when you got to be
Man, you
wise.
got some
You have to be
important
wise
topics
enough
to
to
talk
see
about today.
the okey doke.
I know, it's down to the wire, right?
Across the board. If you don't
Just
even
make it
believe
or
in
break it.
Christianity, I'm thinking still
Yeah.
be wise. You don't see
We'll
what's going on
we'll
around
see.
you.
I mean,
All of the media covering up stuff going on about creepy, sleepy, sloppy.
How you feel about what's going on, man?
well, at this point, I think that there are some people that you're not going to be able to, what do I want to say, save. You can't save everybody, and at this point, I think people that are well informed and that have been staying abreast. I mean, you don't even have to be, to me at this point, I don't know if it's a matter of being well informed, but just being abreast of knowing what's on both sides of the coin, knowing what's on the left and knowing what's on the right. And I don't think people realize that there's a huge agenda. There's an arching agenda here besides, just the actual election. There's a lot at stake here. But I've heard people say, "Oh, well, they're just going to vote. They just, the Biden issues with his son and all of that. Oh, it's him. I'm voting for him." Well, but do you get that you are omitting you're voting for somebody that's compromised, a national security threat, because you're going to vote for him by omission of information, of guilt. It's not good.
You might as well vote for crime families.
Yeah, and they just make excuses to keep doing what they do. It's, what do they call it? The cognitive dissonance. It's wrong. You're enabling things to go on. You're enabling. You're advocating for your own enslavement, for one. You're advocating for your own oppression, and you are advocating for corruption to continue. And that's a very sad place to be in. I think Kevin is speaking out about it, and I'm not sure if I've heard anything else like this week. I mean, of course, there were other shootings this week and that kind of a bit. So we're back to, it's next week is going to be huge and it's going to be messy.
Yeah, a lot of people bought a whole bunch of thousands of rounds. I mean, I have a whole bunch of thousands of rounds, but I got big enough rounds. I can keep wherever I need that day. So with these 458 SOCOM.
Well, I know you of all people are ready, DJ. Yeah. DJ, let's be real, DJ. You've been ready all year. Is that a fair answer?
I got a guy I work with saying, "Man, how come you don't come to work with a MAGA hat since you support Trump so much?"
Who said that?
It was a supervisor at the location where I work at. And he was like, "How come you don't wear that? Because once you get out in them streets, somebody gonna try to tee off on me." I'm like, yeah. I said, "Well, if I got a gun, I'm just asking for it to be a bad situation." So he said, "Well, you supposed to rep your thing and rep your." I said, "Well,
what is he trying to do?"
I said the last person I was repping that thing was Kingface, and he gone now. That was our guy. That was our guy in the streets. That was say, you know what? If you think you're gonna disrespect me, I'ma smack you, because I stand on what I believe. And if you think you're gonna do anything to me, then you can get it on. That's up to you. But he was really banging for the cause, is what I like to call it. But I'm in law enforcement. I probably have to fight everybody I gotta see if I did that. But
yeah.
So I gotta be non-political in my work environment. I can have an opinion. I can state my opinion.
Yeah. I hear you.
But I'm not You know, I'm not going to shove it down nobody's throat. At least one thing we could agree on today was Hunter Biden needs to go to jail. So he was like, yeah, he needs to go to jail. The stuff he's doing, yeah.
Well, but the thing about it
we could
is,
agree on that. God dang.
yeah. Well, see, that's the thing, but they don't realize that there would be no Hunter Biden story without Joe Biden.
Without Big Joe, then I said, and Joe too.
He wouldn't have. There wouldn't be a case.
It's a syndicate, you know. So they're giving the big man 10-20%. So I'm talking about billions here. We're not talking. And one guy's missing. You know, so
no way.
Yes, one of the richest man in China is missing now, and he's part of the deal of one of their negotiations with one of these big conglomerate companies. So yeah, they're under FBI investigation right now. So things are getting heated already. You know. And it's
Well, you know what? I think
people buyer's remorse once they vote. They got buyer's remorse and they want to change their balance. So you know, as you see, Trump got on Twitter and said, "Well, the hottest thing today is people has buyer's remorse and they want to change their balance to me." And I think that's good. Go ahead, and most states will do it. You know, and now they're trying to make it seem like he's just trying to get extra votes at the last minute, just doing the.
But you know what?
He's honest.
You know, I think this is the thing about all of this. Everybody has had almost 4 years to make an informed decision. I mean, and it's because of the FBI and the DOJ. You know, I will say that, you know, they have not made that information available. They've withheld information, but there's been enough other things out there, enough alternative news out there for people to find the truth before now. So I say, you know, your vote is what your vote is at this point. You know, it is what it is. I guess if you can vote early, get in line or whatever, do it. I mean, I'm not sure. But Tuesday, I think, is going to be zoo time.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you know, feeding time at the zoo, no matter what happens. Yeah, but and I know you know what they're doing here in DC area. Well, DC, they're boarding up DC. That's not even a thought.
Are they doing it?
They're preparing for riots because all businesses know this is a routine now. So this is going to be the biggest boarding up of the businesses and closing shops early and all these things. They're saving their money. They expect the blacks to lose their minds with Antifa. Black Lives Matter and Antifa.
Oh my gosh.
Regardless of what happens.
Well, and see, that's why I was thinking this weekend is kind of a critical weekend. I think you probably want to make sure you've got whatever you're going to have.
Yep.
I mean,
get your boomsticks, get your friends communications ready, because you have to just stand by just in case some nuts just go running down the street. And throwing, as you've seen, people have certain neighborhoods had bricks thrown into their house. Certain things just ain't gonna go on in every neighborhood. As far as just people do it, everybody's not gonna go for that.
Well, we'll see what happens, but I'm just thinking, you know, my concern is if you have two candidates and neither one is going to concede, then who's going to be, which one is going to, are we then going to be in a state of, it's going to be a huge state of chaos. And then what are you going to do? Say, arrest him? No, arrest him. And who do they actually arrest? You know, on January 20th, because I just played a clip of Pelosi saying that he's gonna be the president, whatever the count is, and he'll be sworn in on January 20th. Now that sounds a lot problematic.
They're going off for the mail-in voting count because they know it's gonna be a delay They gave them a delay. Then they tried to renege on. So you have to turn it in all the way up until voting day. The Republicans, they kicked out the one that said that you could return it. You could turn it in the late ballots up to a week after November 2nd. So we got that kicked out. That's cheating. It's unconstitutional. You won't even know who won on purpose. And then you could do whatever you want with mail. It's never been tried. So that shouldn't be a solidified constitutional understanding of how a vote's gonna go. It's not how it's gonna be fair. You gotta sort the bad ones with the good ones, and it's only one designated place that you could drop it off, and if you bomb that, then all those votes are gone. And so, it's just ridiculous.
Well, I'm certainly going to be paying attention to. I'm going to be paying attention to some very key aspects next Tuesday. So I don't know. Maybe I'll send you a message about that. I'll follow up with you on that. But I think that's going to be a most watched event. I think even more than those debates. I mean, I don't know.
I'm about to play this and get some commentary from this. This is definitely going to go in about some laws that are going to be implemented if Biden was to be president. Some stemming off of the premise of the statement in the town hall meeting when you said that if a child, young girl or boy was 9, 10 years old, that they could get the sex reassignment surgery and it wouldn't be discrimination against their parents. So once you start stepping into these areas, you get big. Once you break this down to most black families, they'll be like, okay, you're right, this is ridiculous. But it's just crazy once Breakfast Club. Dang. The Breakfast Club was talking about this to what's her name? It's one of these young ladies who definitely is a Trump supporter. Trump just shouted out her name, she's a black female. I forgot what area she's running for.
Is it Stanton, Angela?
Yeah, Angela.
Angela Stanton.
This morning she.
So she got a tweet from Trump.
Not even that. He shouted out her name, but at a rally, and said she's doing a really good job because she bringing in supporters and putting the truth out there. But this morning she was challenging the Breakfast Club live on her Instagram, and they were saying they kept trying to push the LGBT or saying, look, you anti-LGBT, and she's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. She's saying you got to keep saying over and over, I just don't believe that you should be encouraging your children to go that route. Tell them the truth, and then if they get older, they can make the decision. And if you believe in your spiritual foundation, you shouldn't have to go against that because the state wants you to do something. Because if they're 9 and 10, they shouldn't be thinking about the spectrum. It's not what they should be thinking about as kids, or even younger. He said all the way up to 5 years old. You shouldn't be thinking about the spectrum. You should be thinking about Barbie dolls and
such
evil. I mean, you're a kid. What do kids think about? Like Barbie dolls and soldiers. I had soldiers. I was playing with G.I. Joes, and look at me now. I got a gun. But it worked, and I loved it. It created a stronger man. It didn't create a wimp out of me. I didn't think that I was the Teletubby. So once you get old, you realize, you played your cops and robbers, you played you had your G.I. Joes, girls play with Barbies, and you grew up as young men and women. When boys were boys and men were men. Then you lose that, and then it's like, man. So first thing they try to do is they try to force the pastors, Jewish and rabbis to bake a gay cake, and it goes on.
All allow themselves to fight against truth and now making truth the new hate speech, attacking truth with evidence and all of that stuff laid out. And yet they're attacking it, redefining it. So now all of a sudden, exposing truth is now Russia disinformation. How you like that? So I'm thinking to myself, when did that ever happen? And then when it is false truth, when it is truly a conspiracy, that same group of people will approach that as it is true. So they are exchanging the truth for a lie. But folks don't catch it. Now, that's across the board. We're talking about non-believers, just regular citizens. They're not catching it. But what burns me up is when
anybody watching this, go ahead and share me
and
out.
I'm thinking, man, you spent all this time in church.
Oh, I
Like,
shared you out.
You done denied
Like,
yourself
share, follow,
being
and
able to go to
subscribe.
the movies. You know, if you grow up in one of them type of churches, you can't do nothing out there playing basketball in a three-piece suit because you ain't allowed to wear shorts. All of that. You done went through all of that to come to this point where all the Democrats and media have to do is dangle the threat of racism in your face, and you forget how the devil appears as an angel of light. All you're focused on is that racism while you're voting them in to push certain legislation that's going to come right back and bite you on the butt. Thus, the Trojan horse. Just let us get in the door. That's all we want. We ain't coming in trying to really, change up everything. Just, look, now, I used to tell people, if you give the devil a small piece of your mind, you give him all your mind. Because I'm going to tell you right now, he's not coming in just to occupy one part. He ain't coming in talking about, you know what, thanks for letting me in. I'll just be out of your way. There's a corner.
I'm just going to take your subconscious.
We're just going to hang out there and periodically pop up. No. Once he gets the foot in the door, you're in trouble. So the same thing with this agenda that this man is about to expose. We don't want to come in telling y'all our true agenda. So we're going to disguise and package it up under civil rights. Okay, so here we go.
And if there's ever been a day where believers have to be savvy, from college students to
Is that Wooden? Is that Wooden? Pastor Wooden? He is so spot on.
Oh man, he just be on point. He don't care what the last fact.
There you go.
Anyway.
He's like meatloaf and mash comfort.
Every area of American society, and they are infiltrating it. So that therefore they don't have to convince that many folks just hunkered down and got their mind made up.
Somebody wants to know if I'm dressing up for Halloween.
They already look at us as damaged goods. You don't see a lot of conservatives becoming Democrats. You don't see a lot of us like, man, I'm gonna tell you. See, once you see how raggedy and corrupt the Democrats are, you can never unsee that. Never. It's in the bone at that point. So at some point, they just look at you and say, you know what, forget them. What we will do, though, we will demonize them every chance we get to either keep them quiet or to punish them for being open. That's what we will do. We don't expect to go in to Kev's corner and convince him now that, it's okay to have open borders. It's not going to happen. All right. But yet they'll try it all day long. But what they really would do is say, you know what, if we can't convince them, let's go ahead and talk to.
The stock market is on fire right now. Now you know it, and I know it too. This is the best time that you can be investing in
children. Let's go ahead and get our big old knuckles in entertainment. Let's see if we could use the LeBron James of the world and all of them. Let's see if we can use them, because these are all areas that folks love. They love entertainment. They love, school and education and all of that and sports. Let's get in there. Therefore, we can hide. We can go undetected by using these useful idiots to help push our agenda. That's the Trojan horse. Yeah. And you wake up one day like I was just, I was liking LeBron James and what he was saying, but I didn't expect them to get rid of the police. And here he is, every day. Black men are being hunted, and I'm gonna say you're worse than the Democrat Party because you actually believe this garbage and they don't. That's what makes me mad. They're using you like we got LeBron, y'all. I'm telling you, he's gonna be powerful resource force. Watch. Anyway, let's see.
The church has to be in the business of informing people, informing people, so that we know how to recognize.
Wow. Now they got to inform.
Combat the enemy.
There you go. Y'all hear that? Now, if you got a church and you ain't informing folks about what's going on, and you sitting back going, well, you know what? I see some legislation coming out of.
Do I look like I'm ready for Halloween?
Quite line up with our biblical beliefs.
Well, mine ain't cheap. It's $100 mask.
I would hate to lose
$100
some folks in the congregation because I come across as insensitive to certain lifestyles. When I lived in Cincinnati, the church that I went to, man, my pastor,
it's the same one off of what's the movie?
Business, and then
Eyes Wide Shut,
and give us a little hope to move on. I always knew you go in there and he ain't gonna be there like Joel Osteen. You know what? Just look at yourself and say,
How about I be a firefighter this year? I got it.
That I love myself. No, sometimes you need that tough message.
But now,
sometimes you need to let the folks know this is not a feel-good message. This one right here is
gonna sting.
It's gonna cut you to heal you, though. Okay.
To heal.
If you walk into the doctor's office and
like breaking your ankle, and they say, now your feet. To heal your
again, I'm gonna have to re-break some stuff and then set it the right way.
Mm-hmm. Hey, transition.
I don't know. Are you guys on lockdown? Are you guys on lockdown? Oh my God, look who's here. It's Anthony Scioli. Hi, Anthony.
My man. $100,000.
Thanks so much for coming in. We're talking Halloween around here. I don't know what DJ's already got a costume.
I had this costume since last year. Friend bought it for me. Matter of fact, hey, you want? I said, sure, give me a man. I think I probably gave it for my birthday. I just can't remember. I just know I said I'm getting into masks because it's a cool thing. It's like custom, people make it from their hands. And this is one of the made it from your hands in France kind of masks.
Wow, that's a good looking mask.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's one of the ones you see on the wall, like, God damn, how much? $100 bucks. And then they get more, then they 200 and 250 and 300 and all the way up to $1,000, but or more. It depends. These masks, these are the masks like the Mardi Gras and all that stuff. But this is actually a masquerade mask, to be honest. It's not a Mardi Gras mask. It can be, but Mardi Gras masks are cheaper. These are more expensive and intricate. They're made per hand, and probably one individual is making the whole mask.
So I don't know. Does that mean you're going to show up with a Halloween stream tomorrow night? Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, sure. You just reminded me because I do have the stuff to do it. I do have the hood to throw, so I look like I'm in Illuminati, and I put on my mask and scare everybody like Illuminati. So I'm sure gonna scare the audience, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun if all the women in the creek don't ride. All will be well.
Well, see, I'm wondering if we can get somebody else to dress up for Halloween, then maybe I'll come up with something, maybe a mask or.
We're gonna do a best dress challenge tomorrow. All channel.
Tell him you got it.
Dress challenge.
Send a note to Old School.
Yep, I'll do the same. And whoever dresses the best from the audience or whoever, if anybody comes on.
Well, that's actually a great idea because
we can send them a mug. I got mugs. You got mugs.
People can chime in and show their costume.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna get more views at that. It's not gonna be such a just dry. Information.
Zoom costume. Zoom your costume.
Only costume, and we're not doing that. We're not like your boy Ted.
I said, okay. Anthony says I'm going in the pumpkin mask from Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch. Okay.
Yeah. Fun.
I'll bring you up. I'll still bring you on. We'll have a conversation about it. Take a drink with me tomorrow night because I'm drinking tomorrow night.
So are you making a witch's brew is what we're gonna have.
We're making the witch's brew with the lemon and the lime. Yep. So let's get it.
If you say no, you know what? Actually, I'd rather walk around with the club foot. I'll take club foot for 500. No, you'll say, oh, I know this gonna hurt up front, but I ain't gonna never play basketball again if I don't get this fixed. So go ahead and break right. See, so that's what, if you are a real pastor, you're going to expose some of this stuff. And the problem with exposing it is the right ear get hold to this and run to the media or run to some politician. Now, all of a sudden, that politician makes this a campaign issue. They did what? You mean tell me they wouldn't let
this
you
why my
marry your
church
daughter
won't even
who's 3
talk
years
to
old?
them.
You know, that's
We don't talk to them.
discrimination. Yeah, that church, those church people,
We know what
they
they're gonna say.
they're very judgeful. Let's get something on the books. We now have this law. And if you don't follow that stuff, you'll wake up one day and go, when did this law get passed? Which he's about to also reveal.
Speaking of the devil,
Diablo?
there is
Oh.
a piece of legislation, and I'll say this quickly.
He said it.
that passed the House on Wednesday, March the 13th.
Now, for all of the folks who believe in the devil, who out there saying, you know what, I don't get involved in politics, you know, God knows best, and, you know, all of that stuff, don't fool yourself. Don't be ignorant. You should vote for folks in ideas and policies that support what you claim is the most important thing in your life. So if you're talking about, well, you know, voting doesn't make a difference and, you know, all that, no, you're being ignorant. That's what you're doing. Legislation is what allows them to control societies. When you pass laws, then they can do stuff to you. It's no longer an opinion. That's the scary part about it. It's no longer, you know what, you have your right to your opinion. No, we're going to pass something to eliminate the right to your own opinion. That's what we really want to do. And that is how the Trojan horse slides in. You think it's cute. See, you think it comes in a package of fighting against racism. And once you crack that pinata open, you see nothing but doo-doo falling out.
Yeah.
The House. Nancy Pelosi introduced the so-called
Nasty Pelosi.
Equality Act. It passed the House of Representatives.
There it is. There it is, HR 5.
Oh, you knew it. You with it.
What is up, guys? It's Sydney Cole here
You
with
always-
another original for
he
you.
goes-
Oh my-
This was Only Little Goody, and
Oh
it's
my gosh. You guys are making me like, you guys are making me think I need to be ready for Halloween tomorrow.
No, wait a minute.
Get in.
Put the word out. Put the word out, DJ.
Let me see if I can find it.
That's what I want.
Because we gonna be
Why
ready.
are we sliding stuff
We
in
gonna be ready.
that doesn't need to be
Well, I just-
brought in under the Equality Act? Or are y'all using the Equality Act as a Trojan horse? See, I got a good feeling there's some very powerful people that are in certain areas who want this agenda pushed. And so when they trickle that down to certain politicians that they support, then you get stupid legislation, unnecessary legislation that have nothing to do with discrimination, but instead it has something to do with forcing an agenda down the throats of those who disagree. It's a slick way to force you to have to say, even though everything in me disagrees with this, I don't want my business shut down. So sure, even though it violates my conscience, even though it tramples all over my spiritual beliefs, all of that. But hey, what can I do?
Look who's here.
I voted
It's
these bubbleheads in.
Old head dudes.
I voted them in.
Shout out
and
to
they
you.
never told me
My man.
that there will come a time where they say, oh yeah, that was a while ago.
My man.
See, now here's the new legislation, and all of these people and all of these things are under the Equality Act. Let's continue.
228 Democrats voted for it.
Okay.
8 Republicans voted for it. 73 Republicans voted against it. It passed the House. It has not gotten through
Oh
Congress.
no, DJ,
The
you've
Senate,
outdone
which
yourself.
passed the Congress. It hasn't gotten
See,
through the
now I'm
Senate,
not
and I
ready.
pray that it doesn't.
Thank you, brother.
And if
All I
it
have is a ball
does
cap.
somehow pass the Senate, which I pray that it dies in the Senate.
I mean, I think I've got
McConnell
some
don't
mask.
just let it die.
And it's funny because I wear this all the time.
If it
It's
passes,
just
the current
comfortable.
president says that he would veto
Throw it
it.
on,
Oh, snap. Did
got
y'all
the
hear
jacket
that?
on, and
So
I just
now,
put the hood over, and now I got a hoodie.
Democrats slid some legislation.
I
to
mean, I've
Congress,
got
and I
I've
don't know
got
how they did it, but they
probably
persuaded a
2
couple
like really
Republicans
nice
even to
masks,
get on
but I
board.
don't know where they are.
But all of the Democrats was like, "Oh yeah, that's
mean,
a good idea." All right, so
Because I haven't done
this
Halloween
man
in a while.
has made it clear. I love the fact that
Man, I was
he's
about to spend
informing
$200
his
on a
members.
mask
Okay,
that I
he's not
seen
sitting
in the
back
music
going,
video.
"I'd be scared."
The one,
About Donald Trump,
the bear
supporting us
that
because
has
of
the
all of
blocky
these
like face,
racist narratives going around.
and
What
it's
my
like
church folks will be
it lights
in
up,
part like the Red Sea. So I'm gonna keep
but it's
that
a
to
blocky like
myself.
face, like
No, gotta appreciate this man.
That's a big
like computer
as you're
graphics, but it's
focusing on
huge. It's
Trump's
like sticking out
racism
here.
and all of that stuff. This man right here is exposing the
It
Trump,
could be Laura
not
Croft,
the
Tomb
Democrat,
Raider.
not Joe Biden, none of them. He's the one saying, "Hey,
I'll go see that
I'm
one.
not going to pass that mess. Is there a problem? Is there a necessity to put this group of people under this type of protection?
Maybe.
Is it? Because
That's
my
what they're
gut tells me y'all using that to open up the floodgates and then go after every area that you want to infiltrate. That's what I think. And Trump sniffs it out. And he says, "Man, I'm not passing that." Now, all of the bubblehead Christians out there who done bought in and now they're drinking
Thank you,
Kool-Aid,
bubblehead.
the Democrats,
Pop
they
your
don't know
bubble.
that. I mean, they're not sitting back going, "No, wait a minute.
They're
It's
gonna
on the
wake
agenda to
up
do
one
what, do
day,
what, where?"
and
See,
he calls
this
them
man, I
bubblehead
gotta
because he
give
said a
you
long
kudos.
time ago. One day they're gonna wake up,
If it passed
and
the
somebody's
Senate,
gonna
that it
pop the
doesn't
bubble.
pass with a veto-proof majority. And here is why every believer should be against this. This so-called Equality Act is a bill that would add sexual orientation and gender identity as a protected class.
Protected, not like us.
In the next 60
Yes,
seconds,
and then
I'm
there's
gonna show
also going to
you
be
how to not only survive,
a guy.
but
I
also
mean, the
thrive
access
in
to
today's
the
crazy,
restrooms.
uncertain
The access to the restrooms.
Even be, he's gonna get on that too. He's gonna get on every level.
Furthered equality by ensuring that African Americans had equal access and public accommodations and material goods.
Right.
The Equality Act would further inequality by penalizing everyday Americans for their beliefs about marriage and biological sex. Did you ever believe that we'd ever live in a day where we would have to use the term
Biological sex?
I didn't. I never thought that I would be allowed to see the day.
It's like a movie. Like,
over
I never thought I'd be
biological
doing this
sex
with
of
my
human
hand
beings.
like a beta man.
I'm amazed. I'm thinking to myself, so for about 6,000 plus years, we all concluded if it comes out with an apple stem on it, it's a boy. Okay. Very,
Children,
very
though, you don't say words like
born with
you know,
both sexes,
biological
okay, and then
sex,
at that
and
point,
then you
mom
got-
and dad
then you got
needs to
what?
make a choice, okay.
What?
But nonetheless, these folks have now infiltrated the Civil Rights Act. See, this is the trick of it all, y'all.
They said the
Now,
hell
all
with
those
y'all
pro-black
fighting
brothers out there,
blood,
power to
sweat,
the
and
people, my
tears
brother.
in the
You know what I'm
50s and
Trump don't love us.
and 60s.
Yeah, I'm thinking of myself.
You screwed it up.
So they're going to water down the Civil Rights Act and slide a group of folks in there
Slide the
that are
rainbow.
making their own
That's
choices
not even a rainbow.
to
It's
live
worse
whatever
than that.
lifestyle they're living. So don't get it twisted. I am not mad or I don't hate gays, lesbians, and all of that stuff.
Thank you.
What I say is that's your
And
choice.
please, I
That's what
really
I'm saying.
hope.
But when you
I
try
really,
to
I
burden
really
my
think this is
conscience
not going
and
to
make
make
me
me
suspend
get this
my
video
logic
blocked because
and
when he
telling me, no,
posted
it's
this,
not my
it
choice.
still exists.
I didn't choose this. I'm thinking, okay, see,
But
now
it
you're
goes
making an
really to
excuse
that
be
angle.
sorry, okay?
Real
You're
quick.
misplacing the blame. If we all adopted that mentality that it's not my fault, you know, we'll be singing, oh, it's not my fault.
Did I do that?
It's not my fault. Everyone would be going into court like, Your Honor, listen, no, I know I killed a whole heap of people for no reason, but I was born this way. I'm a natural born killer. You think I like killing? You know, I wish somehow that y'all could cut it out of me. And if you punish for killing all those folks.
But you know, Joe Biden had said that they were going to pass that within the first 100 days.
So at what point do you say,
exactly? He said that at the town hall meeting.
That right there.
That's where this is stemming from.
Lying to you.
The fact that you blindly just be like, okay, I'm voting.
Don't throw that on.
You don't even know what he's doing.
You go on and do what you want.
I gotta keep saying policy.
Well, they've been telling people what they're going to do.
Don't look it up.
For at least 2 years. For at least 2 years, they said exactly what they were going to do once the tables changed. You know, the power hands exchanged. You know,
and a lot of them don't care. But when I mentioned this to the manager who's a Trump hater, he said, you know what? Yeah, this is sick. You know, like that's what I'm saying. This is Democrat policy. Every single Republican nailed this down. We made it. We zero. Nix. No, we don't have one person that said, yep, hey, you know what? One day they just need to wake up and say, hey, girl 9 years old is boy, and boy 9 years old is girl. They just feel like that. You know, and then it's worse when you force physically, and you don't have a job if you don't give this kid an operation because you're going to be a bigot. That's what they're doing now. You could believe in God, and if you don't do it as a surgeon, you don't have a job.
Yeah, these are dark times. I mean, but they've been told. They've been told.
They've been told.
So you guys can keep pretending and placating all you want, but it's coming.
As Angela would say, well, everybody's not Christian. Well, everybody's not going to heaven.
It's a mistake. So, I mean, I was on the assembly line up in heaven. And
thank you. Here we go.
The two angels were talking too much while they
Raphael
were and they forgot to put the apple stem on. And they were like, wait, did we miss something on that one? Should we stop the line? No, just let it go? Okay. Yeah. So they just let me go. They let me go. And now I'm dealing with it. Yeah, the apple. I don't even have an apple stem. I need an apple stem. So my point.
You trying to tell God what you were supposed to have.
That's your choice.
I think God messed up when he made
instead of us.
I feel like my man and woman. This is
going back to my
this
analogy.
Is what that means.
If decides to go out and rob a bank, I'm not going to be talking about something. It was greater than me. Ever since I was a kid, I always felt the need
I knew
to suppress bank robbery. And as much as I fought it, I finally concluded I have to embrace it. I have to embrace that nature of mine because God made me this way. It's not my fault. I'm born a bank robber. So instead of doing that, I am aware and smart enough to just say, Kev, you just was greedy. Kev, you just want to rob the bank.
Right.
I'm not going to sit back and blame it on something else, on nature. If these people would do that, I mean, we won't have no problems. If you want to live your life,
nature made me this way.
You would never have me come to you and vocalize anything. I don't do that. I'm not that guy that's going to be going and tapping you to try to tell you how to live your life. But when I see folks that want to live that lifestyle threatening my ability to look at that lifestyle and say, hey, that's your choice.
Right.
And you tell me by saying that I'm a racist or I'm a bigot. No. Now I'm concerned about you. You're talking about a dictatorship. That sounds like a dictatorship. That's what that sounds like. If you don't believe what I believe, then you know I'm going to punish you. See, that's where I draw the line. And this man does too.
It used to be sex because everybody.
This man says over my body.
Biology determines your sex.
Yeah, we used to understand that. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened.
We never thought that we would live in a day where people can determine their sex by their thinking.
By their thinking.
Me either.
Damn.
And this is how you know this was a slow current. This was something that they slid into our society under the radar.
And telling you about 2 weeks, I'm gonna be a boy again.
It wasn't necessarily like broadcast, and it wasn't attacking or offending you in like 2011. You know, the times where we looked at people that will come out and say stuff like this, and we be like, man, that stuff right there, that's just those folks out in Cali thinking crazy. We ain't gotta worry about it in
That's
Ohio,
what I
though.
thought.
We're smart enough to see through it. And here we are in 2020, and folks that would have normally looked at that and go, that's crazy. You're telling me you woke up this morning and was like, all right, hold on, let me focus. I'm now a woman. And you come to me, here's my boy.
Old head juice says bars.
I no longer do that. Why not?
Bars.
I finally embraced the thing outside of myself. Now,
we going in
if you
tonight,
tell me
y'all.
I want to be
Okay.
king, or I'm choosing to live
Talking
my
about
life
God
as a woman,
in
hey, that's your choice. But when you tell me I have
it's
no
good or bad.
choice, and
Evil
not only that, you're telling me
or
I'm
God.
not a man.
Good
I'm a woman.
and bad.
Not shoes.
Right and
That's
wrong.
the big issue.
That's
what
it. It's a
you
line
are
in the
telling
sand
me
being
is
drawn.
that this
What
is
side
greater
do
than
you
you.
want?
Okay, so therefore, since it's greater than you, I have to be empathetic and embrace it. And I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'd rather die with my sanity, honestly, because I listen to folks who 20 years ago would have been like, what are you talking about, man? But now here they are. Stuff like that. It's 2020. You never know. And I'm going, see, somewhere along the line, you took a swig of that Kool-Aid. Let's continue.
A girl, so therefore I am one.
Yeah.
And therefore you must call me one. And must treat me like one.
Yeah,
and if this law's passed, if you fail to call me one, then you're in trouble.
Oh.
But if tomorrow I decide to go back to being a boy, then you got to call me a man.
Yeah.
And treat me that way. The next day, if I go back, so forth and so on.
Now y'all hear
Yeah.
that, man?
Yeah,
See,
I never
what
told
this
you.
man
You can't
is
go back.
pointing
You can't
out
keep
is
going.
the insanity of this. When you pass legislation to punish people, now these folks got to walk around scared to even embrace, talk to you, address you, because we don't know. I mean, we're scared to death now. You go up to somebody and with your eyeballs, you
If I
will
just
see
say the wrong
a
pronoun,
lady or a
I'm
man.
sued.
And you, excuse me, sir, you mind if I what? Would you just call me? Yeah. I was just what you want me to call you? See, no one wants to walk around on those type of eggshells, okay? To get mad
We're walking on egg. We don't know
at people who accidentally call
Frank.
you the wrong pronoun.
Hey, what were we gonna say? Anonymous
crazy.
now? Hey,
So,
anonymous.
Instead of you saying, "Hey, I get it. I know I look like a man." It's a common mistake. You probably just assumed I was a man, but instead,
those are most
it's people like you.
But then we got the
You know what,
we got the
you're
left.
not open-minded enough to see that, and I'm going, no, that has nothing to do with that. You know what has something to do with?
Thank you.
These.
You really? Oh my God! As soon as we get into it, but this is what they do, y'all. We getting deep into it. We're serious tonight.
My two eyeballs, this big old clunk inside my skull called brain, and years and years and years of observation and scientific proof that certain biological elements mean you're a man and others mean you're a woman. But you're telling me, scrap all that. We got to start all over again.
It's crazy.
It is
These
crazy.
are the times
It's crazy.
in which we live.
Scary time.
And I'll tell you what it would do to African Americans. It would make the gains that
Here
we
it
got
comes.
in the 64, 1964
So you
Voting
know
Rights Act, the gains that was given to us would be erased.
Y'all hear that? For all the pro-black folks,
All
they
the
don't get
things that black
that the Democrats is
undo
watering down
political
the history,
laws.
the
You're
plight,
undoing
all
that
of that of black
to push
folks.
a
They're
deeper
watering it
agenda.
down and trying to ease a whole other group into that
It's
category,
like-
and they start with little
I
things that
literally
you
got
don't
shot.
catch. That's why
beat
I
up.
said it's a Trojan horse.
Malcolm X got-
So instead of us
Martin
going
Luther King
from,
got
you
locked
know,
up so many
first
goddamn times,
N-word,
but he's
then it
lost.
went to color, you know, and then all of a sudden it went to black, and black people
Because
for
he
the
had a
most
dream
part
one day
didn't have a problem with that.
about
I
your
still say
character,
black
not the
people.
color, and not
But
your
then
skin.
somehow we
Y'all
woke
still
up
man.
and was now people of color. And I'm thinking, was that an issue in the black man? I mean, no one ever came up to me and said, "Kid, man, you know what we got to fight for the right to be called people of color."
Thank you.
Or even African Americans. Everybody appeared to be cool with black. But once you start watering it down to lower the ability of black folks to see that our history in America is different from illegal immigrants who choose to come over here.
Not the same.
And now you're trying to water down our history by just saying you're all people of color. Right?
Mexicans are 30%.
I mean, these folks who make
we're only
come across this
13
border with their kids. Okay?
That's insane.
When you rip those kids,
well, that's in the whole United States.
To
that's
those
30%.
slaves that have their kids,
and we're still the minority.
So if you're dumb enough to believe that,
they multiplied it and
as a black
divided
person
way long
supposed
ago.
to
We
be
just didn't realize.
on top of all of this racism and stuff, dude. I'm so black consciousness that I'm unconscious. That's what ends up happening. You're so conscious that you become unconscious. You have no idea what the heck you're talking about, and they are slowly but surely muddying the waters because they want you to get on board with agendas for people who make choices versus the history of black folks who didn't make that choice. I don't know one African slave that ever was sitting there on the shore when they came into Africa and took 100 folks with them on the boat. Say, hey, wait a minute, is this a cruise? Why didn't nobody ask me? I mean, I just assumed that I wouldn't be put in all those shackles and chains like the rest of those folks being marched up on the boat. Right. So I was wondering, can I get on too? I just want to enjoy myself. That's all. So wait a minute. So you want to put me in those chains too? You know what? I'll stay right here. See, so with them trying to make it appear like these were choices that black folks made, come over here, and it's equivalent to the choices, the real choices for illegal immigrants to come. And now you're sliding in a whole different group of folks who their decisions is an absolute choice, but they want to slide them in to ours. Unbelievable.
So no person of color, and no Christian, no person of color, no African American should be for this. And the way they try to fool black folk is they come after us and say, well, you know, you were discriminated against. No one should be discriminated against. and our people who are not thinking go, well, you know, that is right. So I'm against discrimination. But
they use the black thing for discrimination.
It's not a bad thing.
And then put it on all.
This man gives a whole new definition and idea to discrimination. I was watching this and I was like, it's rare that someone give me a haiku. You know, I'm like, I get a real definition. One beautiful because most folks look at discrimination as a bad thing. Right. He's going to break it down to where we apply every single day. Discrimination. All right. So here's his definition of it, and this is why it's not.
It's to decide.
To decide, that's what it means. To decide. To distinguish between two things, good or bad. We discriminate every day, but you're not supposed to discriminate on the basis of race. You can't look at me and assume that I can't afford the house, or I shouldn't be able to sit at a bar, or I shouldn't have equal access.
Now you hear where he's going with this? Discrimination means to decide.
To decide.
Simple but powerful. Meaning, when I go in and one day I feel like a nut, and sometimes I don't. See, I get to choose. Today I feel like a nut. I want that Hershey's with nuts. Then the next day, I don't want any nuts in that. I discriminated against the nut Hershey, and I'm embracing the pure chocolate Hershey. That's what that is. But when it comes down to discrimination based on a biological birth of being black, white, whatever. That's real discrimination that is evil, and it lowers the equality of all humans. That's real discrimination. But stuff that you can't see, you're telling me that I'm supposed to look deep down on the inside and see that hidden woman in you. Everything else, all your biological features, I'm going, that's a dude. I mean, you got the receding
Democrats,
got the beard, I mean, the muscle, all that, that's a dude. And somehow I'm supposed to look deep down on the inside. Maybe, let me see, maybe I ain't got my focus on. Even my glasses can't see. Hold on, maybe these will work.
I can't see the inside.
There it is. There it is. I just put on my liberal shades. I now see that little girl deep down on the inside of this.
Down on the inside.
Yeah. And if you don't see it, or at least lie about seeing it, then you're discriminating. Versus you come in and see me as a black man sitting at a table eating, and you go, boy, what you doing here? This ain't your restaurant, man. We don't serve your kind. Now that is real discrimination. Okay, I didn't choose to be black, but you choose to be whatever you want when it comes down to your sexuality. And another thing about this, another thing is you ain't even got to tell me. Why are you making it your issue to go out and put on blast your sexual preference or your identity that you choose to live by? Why we need to know that, man? Huh? Why can't y'all just be okay with doing what you do? All right, but yet you want to come out and say, all right, I want all y'all to join me, okay? No, if we choose not to, we're racist, we're bigots, and we're discriminating. But come on, man. Let's continue.
A facility based solely on the color of my skin.
That's real
which was the injustice of our country.
Yes.
Now what we're trying to do is vote into law deviant behavior. Amen. And then compare that deviant behavior and say it's like being black.
See? Beautifully spoken. You hear that? That man said what they're trying to do is legislate deviant behavior and paint it up, make it look all cute by saying that right now you're discriminating, okay? Okay, so what you're telling me, you're going to dress up an ugly baby, and now all of a sudden, I can't see through the little outfit you got. Now I'm like, kid's still ugly. I know I like the little sailor hat you got on him, or, you know, a little blue bonnet, whatever, but that kid's tender to the eye. Certain things, you can't just dress it up and say, well, you know what, it's now beautiful. I'm going, hey, man, you can put on the most beautiful paint on a possum,
what happened to what?
but when that mug cracks his
What happened
mouth
to Oliver's
and shows those
face?
ugly awesome teeth, it becomes ugly again immediately. So what they're trying to do is slide in the right for folks who make choices when in regards to their sexuality and all that stuff to now penalize you, not just get mad at you and dox you, not just
What did you say, DJ?
place of work walking around with a sign. You give folks
I'm
that
about to
type of
pause
power
it. Let me pause
and see
it.
what happens.
Pause. Okay. Oliver
What
Mack.
did you say?
My boy Oliver Mack. I can't see if you can see his Instagram page. It's like they banned him. They just took him off. Like what? No way.
Let's see. Let's see. Oh my God! It says no post yet.
This is insane. What is going on, man?
It says no.
This
no.
is live.
No post. No post yet.
It says Instagrammer. Nothing.
Yeah, there's no post.
This is
No followers.
This is crazy.
I mean, wow. This
is live censorship. I just can't. I can't believe it because he's not the only one. I'm going through I'm trying to share my link, and friends are just not showing. They're just disappearing after I said after I said this.
Yeah, there's no. He has no followers, no post.
I never witnessed it. I never witnessed an active silence.
Has he tried to get on? Is he trying to get on?
No, I didn't get a response. All I got was this.
So I'm wondering who else's page. Who else's page did they do that to today?
Let me see. This is, I can't believe it. This is insane. This is like crazy. This is like conspiracy. Okay, who else?
That's the first time I've ever seen that live. Like, that's the first time I've ever seen it. But I don't know. I don't know what did they give out a warning that they were going to delete people's pages, or I don't know.
I'm looking at I'm trying to.
If you'll check your messages, DJ, check your text message.
Well, all right. Well, looks like I'm about to be getting off here. So I appreciate everybody for joining, though.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks so much, DJ, for having me.
And y'all see what goes on when you just say information. You know, and also it's not just us. It's big conglomerates that are being censored, like the New York Post. We are not allowed to share information that's based on an investigation that's being brought out right now, based on Hunter Biden and sources that have been confirmed. But nevertheless, y'all people need to pay attention. That's what we keep reminding you of what's going on. Stay woke, stay aware of what's going on. If you don't like that word, because I really don't even care for that word. Because everybody want to be woke until they sleep. So appreciate everybody for coming. Like, follow, share, and subscribe. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Good night. Bye.
Peace.